Hey everybody, this is Vince Miller. Thanks so much for joining me for these devotionals. Today we're in Acts chapter 22. I'm going to read two verses, 22 and 23. It says, up to this word, and the word that triggers this whole thing is the word Gentile. Up to this word they listened to him, and they raised their voices and said, away with such a fellow from the earth, for he should not be allowed to live, as they were shouting and throwing their cloaks and flinging dust into the air. So right up until this point, the crowd of hostile Jews are totally fine with everything that Paul has testified about. In fact, at least it seems that way. Maybe they are fine with him talking about his encounter with Jesus, believe it or not, on the road to Damascus. They're actually fine with him talking about the healing that Ananias performed. And they're fine with him returning to the temple to pray. But they're set off with Paul taking the Jewish religion and giving it to non-Jewish people. It's that word Gentile that triggers this whole uproar. And this word simply signified anybody who was not of Jewish descent. Now, I don't know about you, but I think we're all prone to be triggered by even a word when things aren't going our way. And when this word signals a potential loss of like maybe a comfort or a culture or continuity, we will be prone to fight for it, won't we? But as we learn here, if we're not careful, we may end up in a fight fighting for the wrong thing. Because these Jewish protesters were in a fight, but they were not fighting with Paul. They were fighting against the mission of God. You know, today when a word or an event triggers you, take a moment to assess the reason why. I mean, just seriously, just take a moment to think about why it's triggering you. And then consider what God is trying to accomplish through this event. And then how he wants you to respond. And you know what? You probably better do this before you engage in a fight and then realize that you may have been fighting for the wrong thing and against God. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this devotional. If you have, share it with someone you know. And I'll see you right back here again tomorrow.